Hey, what's up, Dean Sear Performance? We are at the shop rushing. Well, we're not rushing, but we're rushing. So I started out this morning on the Ranger and I started sorting the wires again. What do I need? What do I don't need? So the one that I changed the most was the fuel pump trigger. So this is a ground signal from the ECU that triggers the relay. That doesn't work with the way the Holley triggers because they have this relay that sends the 12 volt out through the green wire, and that's what feeds your pump. So looking at his wiring, the green with the yellow goes to the fuel pump, 99% positive, which is a heavier gauge, or about the same gauge I would say, as the Holley wire. So I swapped it. Instead of this blue with an orange being a Keon 12 volt, I fed it the Holley wire so it gets 12 volts from the Holley. Then I'm going to take this old trigger wire and I'm going to feed it to ground. So now the relay will have ground, has battery, 12 volt Keon, and output to fuel pump. So it has all of that. Then here's the fuel level, which I'm going to use one of these wires that goes internally to the dashboard. And I'll just tie this to that wire, then it goes inside. I put the input-output harness, kind of separated them to what's going to go where. I already have the alternator pulse from the Holley. I don't remember what they call it exactly. It's alternator control or whatever. They added that feature in, so that's pretty neat. So I have that wired to the green with a red stripe, which goes down to the plug on the alternator. Then this is the battery feed. No, Keon 12 volt and in cranking, which used to be the fuel pump wire. So you would turn the key on, this would get voltage, send it over to the relay over here. Now it's feeding the Holley the 12 volt Keon and crank signal. These are fans and AC kick, so for the IAC, which these are going to come up to the relay or to the fuse box. I'm going to try in these slots over here, I'm going to try and mount the two fan relays in there. Then the AC kick will get tied in with the AC wiring. Got the harness rerouted. I ended up pulling the fuel line, sticking it under the fuel rail back there, coming across. I got the two bolts on the back of the head. So there's one there, and then there's one, you could just see it right there. Those are all tight and on. This is tack signal. I won't need it. I also rerouted the injector harness to give it a little more slack. I brought it inside the rails and then fed the connectors to the outside. So I changed that. Everything is plugged in now up top. Oil pressure's plugged in. I think I was plugged in yesterday, but I undid everything and tucked it. So it's a little bit neater. And then I pulled all those wires out for the Holley. They're here somewhere. They're hiding now. There they are down there. So this red and the black wire here, which is 12 volt battery and ground. And the fuel pump wire was in there, and the 12 volt Keon, along with the input output harness and this auxiliary harness, all came out of the harness way over here. So I cut all the tape down there. You can see I have the cloth tape on it now. I cut the tape, pulled this off, pulled that harness all the way back, and then wrapped everything up. And I added some extra tape over the booster. I don't know why. I really like the way this tape looks, this fabric tape. So I kind of get carried away with it sometimes, but I wrapped it all the way down. So then the red and the black, you can see they're a little bit of tape together, and then they go into the main harness, which feeds all the way over to the battery. So that is in and done. And I always write all my inputs and outputs on the back of the book. So, and you just program these how you want them in the ECU. You pin map them, and you see I have the dash, which I have yet to write the dash out yet. So we're making way on it. The biggest thing I got done, once I got those wires kind of sorted, I kind of know where I'm going, what I'm doing. I just need to feed a couple of wires in. Then I kind of jumped on, you can see I made another mess. Jumped on his dash. You notice his dash is missing. So that's his factory cluster right there, which is super clean and nice. And you notice it's missing parts. That's the bezel. So I'm debating on this, but the red looks a little different in the camera than it does in person. But I made that back panel. I cut out this bezel that had each gauge, and then it had like a silver trim ring on it. So I cut it out all the way down, then I notched it. It's not fully installed, so don't judge. And then I made this back panel, which then I had to weld a couple of tabs, almost like spacers, onto the corners to bring the panel up and get this panel to sit down. So this piece literally just fits just outside of this edge. Then I drilled the holes, and I didn't want to go up with it because it gets it outside this trim ring. So I cut it down, and it sits like perfect. Like the top of this is right to the edge of that. Here's all the harnesses. So it's just sitting in there. I sent him a picture just to mess with him because I really like Jonathan, and I'm not sure on the red. I'm gonna try it. It's really, really close to the color of the truck. So I'm gonna try it and see what, you know, I don't know if black is gonna be the route to go, because everything in here is black, and he has a little carbon fiber trim panel. So there's not really any color of the truck in here, so that wouldn't be too overwhelming. And I don't even know that you would really see it at night. It would just be like a daytime thing. But I kind of think it's something, it just adds a little something to the truck, the interior, because we're keeping the interior as absolutely factory looking as possible. Like, you will not, other than just get big old JVC DIN model. Come on, Jonathan. But you can't tell, you know, there's a whole lot going on in here, other than they'll have a Hurst ball and the little grooves in the shifter. But other than that, you really won't know much else is going on in here. And I like that. You won't know anything's going on with the truck overall, other than the fact that you'll hear it. But so yeah, that's quick to leave. Our flight leaves in a couple hours, so I have to leave, upload this video, edit it, and edit it and then upload it. It would be weird. I don't do a lot of editing, you could tell. But I leave to go out of town tonight. We come back on the 21st technically, so I might be here on the 21st. And I'll get the rest of the dash wiring sorted out so that I can get the dash installed and move on from there. But it's getting close. That was the last sort of big project, but it wasn't too bad. Cutting that aluminum sheet with a jigsaw works really, really good. But yeah, so I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. Don't ask about the red and white wire. It's in the instructions. Key on 12 volt. Must keep signal while it's starting. Cranking. Have a good day.